All right, guys. Episode 28, Kings of Monaco coming at you. It's been 28 episodes. Can you believe it? For all three of you that listen, we're so grateful. So grateful. We've been having a good time just getting ready for this podcast. Hey, we got, as always, some great topics tonight. You know how the Kings do it. NFL draft, Shedeur. We're going to give our opinions on what we think went down. Nuggets, I hope you all saw the AG dunk, the game winner of game 4 to tie it all up. We're going to talk about that. The Avs, what's his name?
Gabriel Landeskog.
Landeskog.
I'm Landy.
You landed. You brought it.
And summer of the 80s and 90s as kids. We're going to talk about that. That was going to be a fun one. And bonus with, how are we doing? All right. The bonus is basically this. We're going to, if we have time, we're going to, and if you're still here listening, we're going to share all of our invention ideas. Don't steal them, but they're going to be great. All right. How you guys doing?
Trey, I'm already hurting. I'm already ready. You guys are too much.
You haven't got this ab work in 5 years.
I know.
Nobody shaming. Nobody shaming.
Nobody shaming.
All so right. Nobody has to. I guess we're not going to talk then.
Yeah. I guess there's
if we got body shame, then why are we even doing this?
What's the point?
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Always make sure that you guys go follow Carlos, Live, Lead Legacy, JL Psycho on YouTube, and Vince on To The Next podcast.
JL Psycho?
JL Psycho, JLo Psycho. I didn't know she did a cycle channel now.
JLo.
JLo Psycho.
And
J Psycho, my bad.
Oh my God. All right, fellas.
Instead of J-Lo,
Joe
is J-Al.
J.A. Cycle.
Vince said J.A. Cycles on his podcast. With the
Who said that?
On my interview.
On to the next.
On to the next. On to the next.
On to the next.
Hey, that's how we talk from the hood. The cycles.
Oh man! So what do you guys think about the draft? Let's talk about that. Let's open this up.
A lot of sports, right? Yeah. We got a lot of sports to cover tonight. It's good though.
I think that I think that the NFL and higher ups in the NFL or whatever it may be, I think they definitely wanted to serve up some humble pie for Shedeur and Dion and that whole machine. And I think it's kind of like just a trying to say, hey, you didn't participate in the combine. This is one of our things. This is an NFL thing, right? And this is going to be our lesson to you. You don't want to come along. You want to act like you're privileged and be able to do whatever you want to do. You're not going to come to our team and do that. And I think that's a good step for them to maybe do that. I think him being humbled will probably be one of the best things that ever happens to him. Actually, I think that was a great thing that happened to him. So I wish him the best of luck. There's only one way to go out and prove everyone wrong is to produce, be that quarterback that you think you are, or whatever it may be. Good for him for being strong and confident, but at the same time, he's going to have to now definitely go out there and prove it and show his worth. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, coming from a guy who struggles with humility from time to time, I think that NFL owners who were trying to humble him or who were trying to make a statement are putting other factors before winning, because the fact of the matter is that Shedeur can win, right? He's going to win somebody a lot of games. And so when you think about them wanting to make an example out of him or them wanting to make a statement to him directly, to me, it's like, well, but that's not the most important thing here. The most important thing here is to win championships, right? So
To draft
it
the
really
right
just
guy.
kind of makes you think, what else, what other types of dialogue is happening in these back offices that we're not aware of? Because to me, you know, unless a guy is like an axe murderer or some sort of, you know, convict, you know, coming up, a kid who just has a lot of confidence, that's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I know my team is going to win a lot more games. And I'm talking to, you know, those teams that are perennial high draft pickers because they've sucked for the last 10 years, right? They could have picked him easily and been in a way better shape, or been in way better shape than they've been over the last decade, but they didn't. So I'm just curious to know, you know, what other types of factors and what other types of discussions came up in order for him to be drafted so low. It just doesn't make sense to me still.
I would agree with that. I would say why skip over the best pick just to prove a point? Like that doesn't help anybody. You could humble him on the field later. You can coach him to that later. And let's just face it, he's not going to be humbled anyway. He's still going to run around with his chains. He's still going to run around saying what he says. He's not going to change. That's just who they are. That's just who they are. So to think that they didn't pick him for that, nothing's changing. Nothing's changing no matter who picks him. That's how they were raised, how they're going to act, how they're going to respond. You're going to have to deal with their dad. And if anything, why not get more attention on your team? Why not bring some more, you know, clicks, if you will, sell some more jerseys, you know, sell some more tickets. Like there's a lot of money to be made with the guy on the team that talks the biggest, you know, game. I mean, let's face it, there's always one of them, right? You know, you think about the Timberwolves right now, and you think about what's his name? Why am I forgetting his name right now?
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. Like, what would the Timberwolves be without him? Like thinking he's everything, you know, like he's that guy on the team, and so he's you know, Shedeur is going to be that guy on his team. So anyway, I agree with Carlos, and I would add nothing's going to change his confidence anyway.
Yeah, it's just weird, you know, because it's like, what do they think they're saving their team from by not drafting him? I'll tell you what they're saving him from: wins, right? They're not going to get any wins by not drafting him. So it just doesn't add up. And, you know, I'm sure he's going to go on to do great things, just like Brady did, just like Lamar Jackson did, just like Aaron Rodgers did, right? Because now he's got even more motivation to prove everybody wrong. But, you know, for us fans that want to watch good competition, that want to watch the very best on the field, it just kind of leaves you scratching your head like, well, if you're really trying to put the very best on the field, why didn't you pick him? Right?
Is he the very best though? Is he the very best?
Well, I mean,
it's one of the top for sure.
His track record would certainly make a good argument for that, right? At JSU, comes into this broken program. Now, some of that I'm sure is the coaching and the motivation, absolutely. But you can't argue how big of a part a quarterback plays in any football system at any level, right? So for him to be able to do that once, you know what they say about lightning striking twice, and then for him to come into CU and be able to produce similar results is validation in my mind that he's the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
I don't want to argue over who was better, him or Cam Ward. I think that you can argue that ad nauseum, but the fact of the matter is he definitely was in the top two for contention, right? He should have gone either number one or number two quarterback. Now, not picked, but certainly in the first round, right? Like the second quarterback picked, in my opinion.
So
Yeah,
so the rumor is that the humility was lacking, and that was even with the interviews that he had with owners, GMs, and coaches, that he showed like 0% humility in these interviews. So that's one of the main rumors about the whole thing. So his character, but to me, it's like character. The guy has shown like being a really good presence, hasn't been in any trouble, like any off the field issues or anything like that. None of that kind of character issues. Not like a lot of these previous draft picks, Johnny Manziel, or some of these guys who had some serious off the field issues where they're drafted number 1, and it's the only thing that they have of saying, well, he just thinks he's better than everybody else. Well, isn't that kind of what you want in your quarterback, to be like the top competitor? And what the one team that I don't understand, and I'm wondering if the coach is losing it, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like Mike Tomlin, what's going on with them over there? Because for them to last year, pick up Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and Justin Fields starts off good, and then they bench him and then put Russell Wilson in. I'm like, what are these guys doing?
And then they trade them both.
and then they trade them both, and I'm like, what was wrong with Justin Fields? Like,
And they picked up Aaron Rodgers, right? Did they pick up Aaron Rodgers?
Well, they're trying to. They're trying to.
And that would be another huge mistake by them. I mean, they drafted a quarterback, Will Howard. I think it's from Ohio State. And I'm like, why wouldn't they pick up Shedeur? Because he would have fit in that system perfect. He's been ready to go. And to think about, and on most draft boards, Shedeur was the top prospect of any type of player, like any quarterback, running back, defensive end. He was the top like football player, prospect that should have come off the board since like the middle of round 1. So it's like, man, I don't know. I mean, I understand that it kind of rubs you the wrong way. I don't want to listen to his music or anything like that. I want to see him play football, and all that other stuff kind of it is kind of annoying sometimes. But at the same,
I think his music's kind of cool. I mean, it's not like, it's not he's no Kanye or no, Jay-Z or Eminem, but I think that it's got its pros.
I just think that as a NFL team or anybody, when they say, well, what is your plans? It's like football. Every answer should be football. I'm a quarterback. I'm football. And that's why Cam Ward was selected number 1, because that was probably his answers. It's been his answers in other interviews. He's like, I'm a football player. That's all I do. I eat, breathe, sleep football. That's
so then what, with that said, the confidence and all that stuff, Vince, then what do you think about them retiring Shedeur's
I thought that was
Travis Wait, but you're going backwards now, though, dude. So if you don't agree with them retiring Shedeur Sanders, if he hasn't had the off-field issues like Johnny Manziel and those other guys, then why not retire his number at C? Why is it why is that a different?
I think there should have been a standard. Even, I mean, I understand Travis Hunter, but at the same time, I think when you retire jerseys, a national championship should be tied to those retired jerseys. That's just me. I mean, with anything like that, I think a national champion should be tied to that.
So did they end up retiring Rashawn Salam's jersey or no?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
was he a national champion?
It took him forever, though. That was part of the controversy, is that it took him so long to retire other players' jerseys, and these guys, they retired them pretty quickly.
Yeah,
to me, it's less. I mean, obviously, championships are the goal. That is the destination, but anymore, I feel like teams retire the jerseys of players who bring so much to the team, right? Some of those intangibles that make people remember what the team is about. And I feel like Shedeur
nobody was in the stands, bro. I went to.
But is that Dion
before the year before?
But is that Dion or is that Shedeur though?
I mean, it was.
Well, I mean, dude, again, Dion was not out there throwing the bombs. It was Shedeur.
Yeah,
like he's not out there, with all this pressure in his face. He's not out there making the plays. Shedeur is. So you can draw up pretty plays, but if you don't have anybody to execute, it doesn't matter. You're still not going to have a winning season.
But that's why I was saying, though, he did deserve to be. He should have been picked by the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Las Vegas Raiders, which I'm glad he didn't, because I didn't want to have to hate Shedeur for being on the Raiders, but
I
I just
will tell you this on that topic. I am now a Cleveland Brown fan, even though they're an AFC rival, because of that fact. Like, I want to see. I am a Sanders family fan. I love the fact that Shiloh got, an undrafted free agent contract with the Buccaneers. Those are two jerseys that are on my list to buy this year, because I'm a fan of the family, dude. I think that any family that is that close, every family has their imperfections, but to see two grown young men support each other the way they do is
yeah.
pretty awesome. You know what I'm saying?
I think
So
that
I don't want to don't get me wrong, man. I love Shedeur, and that's why I said he deserved to be picked. But I still I thought it was kind of to me. I don't think his jersey should have been retired, and I understand he was great, but there was also a lot of does Philip Lindsay have his jersey retired? He was a great player. He was a dynamic player for the team,
Chad Brown.
and Chad Brown, Cordell Stewart, he did a lot of things. And now that's why I said,
Ronnie Bradford. Oh,
yeah. But Travis Hunter, I understand because he won the Heisman like Rashawn Salam did. And I understand that one. But I was just, I don't know. But at the same, like I said, at the same time, Shedeur didn't deserve what he got. I mean, I was with a bunch of guys who like love Shedeur, like they love Dion, they love that family because they're not out getting in trouble, acting like fools or anything like that. They're just they're having a good time and they like their music and everything. Which I'm like, whatever, that's do what you want to do, but they're not out there like acting like fools. Domestic violence charges and all this other stuff. So
yeah, there are so many other reasons to hate on people other than confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these players anymore forget what it means to be like a well-behaved professional, right? An ambassador for your team. They get in so much trouble and it's swept under the rug. And when you have seemingly a decent kid, right, in Shedeur Sanders, now they're trying to like lock him out because he's too confident.
Yeah,
Like, that
but
just
but
that
Carlos,
seems ridiculous to me.
to me, it doesn't make sense in my head though, because now you're on back and forth to the sides. You're saying like the confidence, all this other stuff that. Then why do you have a problem with his number being retired?
I
Though?
don't have a problem with his number being
Oh,
retired.
okay.
I think it's fine. Like I said, I think he contributed a lot to CU. Um, I think that Travis did as well. I think the two are synonymous with one another. I don't think that Travis would have had the career that he had in college had it not been for Shedeur, quite honestly. I
I
mean,
think those are two
that's just the
separate things,
reality.
though. His confidence, I don't think has anything to do with his jersey being retired.
No, it doesn't, right? I'm just making a case for
Yeah,
the retirement. In terms of the NFL blackballing him, though, I think it's all about his confidence and the perception that he's not going to be coachable. But that's not necessarily true. Just because you're confident in your own ability doesn't mean that you're not going to accept instruction from somebody else. He's gotten to the point that he's at because he's been coachable. Now, granted, the only coach he's ever had has been his dad, and that's certainly another question probably that NFL teams had. But at the end of the day, man, you've got to go on the data. You've got to go off of the track record. And the fact of the matter is, Shedeur is a winning quarterback. Shedeur is a paradigm changer. Like, he will come into a losing program and turn it around, right? Because of all of the hard skills that he has, plus all of the soft skills that he has as well. So I think it's going to be something that perplexes people for years to come because it didn't make a whole lot of sense, right?
I say this in apologies to Browns fans, but I'm like, I don't know what was worse, him getting drafted in the 5th or drafted by the Browns.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm gonna say these two other things, and then if we can move on, we move on, whatever. But I want to say the one thing I want to say is, right now he's doing good. He's not in trouble. His number's retired. The reason why they don't retire those numbers until people are later in life and so on and so forth is because what are you going to do? What does this guy do? Gets caught, gambling on dogs like Mike Vick, and then what do? You take Shedeur Sanders' number down at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if he falls from grace or does something of that nature? And then the second thing I want to say, which I thought was really cool, is that even all this was happening to Shedeur over the weekend. His brother Shiloh was by his side, and he gave a shout out to Shiloh and said, "Hey man, I could not have asked for a real teammate on my side. Like the whole time through this whole weekend, he had my back. He was all about me and where I landed in the draft, and didn't even care once about where he was going to end up in the NFL." And I thought that was really cool of him to say that too about his brother too.
Did you hear what he said? He was like, "Man, if they're doing this to you, imagine what they're going to do to me."
For real though, yeah. For sure.
What do you guys think about Broncos draft picks? Any input on those?
I didn't know any of the guys they drafted, which is fine. It sounded like they got a pretty good defensive back out of it.
UCF guy.
That's why I wore my UCF hat today.
I had a feeling that was why you were wearing that, dude. Because they drafted him.
Dude, he's a stud. That guy, he went to school here locally in Florida, at a school, Edgewater, and dude's a stud. He actually walked on. He went out to an open tryout to UCF, ended up being their star running back, most produced yards in the last 2 years, touchdowns and yards in the last 2 years. So I think he's gonna be a great addition. So
who was the defensive back that they drafted too?
The Texas
Aaron?
Texas, yeah. That was a good move, I think, because
that's a great pick, man. That's another. I think is outside of their front two picks, and I think the tight end that they got in the 7th round. There's always been something about basketball players, and because he's only played football, I don't even know if a full year. And
it's like 6'5", dude.
Yeah, dude. I think he's gonna.
Can you imagine like his wingspan? He's gonna be like, just throw it up 10 feet higher than everybody else.
So I think that's a great addition. But the first 2 picks, man, like I think they're gonna be like plug and play.
Yeah, they got some good football players.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that dunk. AG.
The dunk.
What do you think about the series in general, real quick? I have the video queued up. We're gonna watch it, but what do you guys think about this series?
I haven't been following the Clippers all year, and I mean, it makes sense that it's that close, right? It's a 3rd and 4th seed. Mm-hmm. Is that right? 3rd and 4th? Yeah. And it makes total sense why it's so close. But I personally am surprised that the Nuggets aren't pulling ahead a bit more. But at the same time, it's like it's been the story all year long, inconsistencies like off nights, right? With percentages, make percentages and whatnot. So I guess you can rationalize it, but it's frustrating to see because that they're capable of so much more. Not to take anything away from the Clippers, but
no, I would agree. I think the Clippers are on it, and we're still 2-2.
Yeah,
we're not on it, and we're not on it.
No, dude, it's been like their defense has been horrible. Like it's been bad, and once again, it's like the point differential when Jokic is off the court, dude, it's so bad.
Because look at who's his backup is, bro. DeAndre Jordan, that guy can barely walk, bro. Like he gets down under the hoop, he's got like a wide open like hook shot, like 2 feet away.
If he falls, it's like we're 5 on 4 because it takes him like an hour to get up.
That's been our problem. That's the reason why that's why the GM got fired, bro. Calvin Booth got fired because look at the job that he's done in recruiting the bench and like getting that bench. That was our problem last year, was the bench coming off in the playoffs, and that did not improve. And that's exactly why he got freaking fired, bro.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that didn't hurt anybody's there. Hey, do you guys want to see that dunk?
Yeah,
let's see it for sure.
All right, let me see if I
if the Nuggets, I want to say, if the Nuggets wouldn't have won, we've been cooked, dude. We'd be done.
Yeah, they had to steal one away for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys just hear any audio or no?
A little bit.
Yeah, but we didn't see anything.
All right, hold up. I'm
You know, I
Fortunate.
watched it in a replay without them slowing it down, and it was suspect, dude. I mean,
No,
if
it
I
was
have to be
clean.
super
It was
honest.
close. It
It
was.
was
It could have
clean.
went either way. Yes.
Yeah,
Slow
dude. I
it
think
down.
Tie goes to the
if
runner.
they would have reversed it, I don't think it's conclusive, dude.
Bro,
But
tie
you
goes
know,
to the runner though in that situation.
Why don't we let our audience, all three of them, see if it's conclusive?
And this is for the win. Oh, it's close. They're going to call it. Buzzer. Did Gordon beat the buzzer? They're going to take a look at it. But
Look,
the
Jokic
official,
is walking away like that
Sean
was
Wright
an end.
signal. Zubats is on him.
That's one more thing.
And this is for the win. Oh, it's close. They're going to
yeah.
call it. Buzzer. Did Gordon beat the buzzer? They're going to take a look at it.
Bro, tie
They-
goes to the runner. They called that a basket on the court, and that's the problem. So if
Yeah,
they-
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Once,
That's
yeah. So
conclusive.
maybe they were looking at it the other way, right? Where there wasn't
Mhm.
conclusive evidence to overturn it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. It was
Yeah.
too close to call it not good, right?
Right.
Yeah, so if they would have called it no good, they probably would have
Initially.
just called it. Yeah, they wouldn't have called it good.
Yeah. But
So-
if they would have called it no good, I don't think they would have reviewed it as much.
I think they would have had to, because if they do have review now, so
I was tripping out how like unimpressive it was to Jokic, even though he's so mellow all the time. Like he's gotten hype over, you know, buzzer beaters. And
No.
that definitely was like at the top. I just don't think he was convinced
dude,
that
those
it was
those
legal.
full court shots that he shoots, he throws them up and then he just walks off the court.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been that hype about anything. I think he
No.
just gets. I think he gets heated over bad calls, and when
Yeah.
he doesn't get a call that he should have got, he's all, you know, or he's
Double platter.
Yeah, there's a fair share of him pushing people back that push him. You know.
They
Yeah.
should do like a meme of him with Italian music in the back.
Yeah. Do you? Okay, so I mean, maybe it's a little off topic, but we could say, you know, to wrap up that thing, that was, hey, it went our direction. We'll take it 2-2 coming home tomorrow. Let's see what happens. I just in general, we all know that the NBA, and again, correct me wherever you think I need it, is turned into like a 3-point contest. Did you see that interaction with Golden State, and who are they playing right now?
The Raptors.
The Raptors. There was like 5 3-pointers in a row.
Yeah.
Right? So we're seeing that, and then but we're also seeing, and you guys tell me, do we see? Is it more aggressive inside than it's ever been? That's why they stay outside, and then people just always looking to draw the foul. So I see 3 things. Let me just clarify what I'm saying. I see a ton of 3-pointers. We all know this, but I do see them really beating each other up on the inside when they do try to
Mhm.
you know, roll to the basket. And then I see just flop city. Like let me intentionally jump forward and then bring back to draw like a foul. Like, what are we thinking about all that compared to how we grew up? Like, how close is that, or how far is that compared to how we grew up watching basketball?
No, you're right on it, Joe. That's the 3 concepts of what's happening to the T right now. That's exactly what's happening in the NBA.
That I think this is the whole conversation of this is why Steph Curry, in sense, as much as Carlos doesn't like him, I think
I don't
that's why he
Looks like a rat, bro.
dude, that's why he has to be considered in the top 5 of all time, because he changed the game. Like literally, he changed the game
For shooting,
And
right? I mean,
for shooting. Yeah,
but he's
Well, he
still jumps in
basically
there.
made the claim, right, that you could go out and draft like a regular size guy and have a superstar in your hands if you teach him to shoot a 3-pointer, right?
well, the
Like-
importance of
Like you don't have to be a 7-foot, 250-pound freak
Yeah.
of nature to be
Yeah,
awesome.
there would be people that would disagree with you, Vince, because I mean, you know, Larry Bird and all them dudes, like there was, you know, those guys that were good from the outside as well.
I know,
Dude,
but
Reggie
it
Miller?
really, yeah, Reggie Miller, but he really like he took it to another level.
yeah,
I
shooting
think.
like way behind.
Yeah,
Pointer.
just some
Nobody
of
used
his
to do that.
But I do think, like, inside the boards they haven't been like blowing the whistle as much, lately, and I think that's it is kind of it kind of takes you back to nostalgic of the 90s, 80s, 90s, the way they used to play inside. And I like it. I like the physicality. That's kind of the way you want it to be played. You want.
Is it hard to watch though? Like, and I agree with you. Like, let's play ball. Let's play basketball. But is it hard to watch like it is for me when you just see them jumping into a person to shoot a basketball?
Yeah, that's
and
stupid.
falling? Like, I just
This
like
isn't
lose
soccer.
my
This
mind. I just
isn't like we're not doing.
Have you guys seen that TikTok of those two kids that they're playing pee wee ball? They can't be older than 10. They're little kids playing basketball at the whistle. They're going to inbound the ball. One kid like totally flops on the
Yeah.
whistle,
seen it.
flops. And the caption was like, "This is what the NBA today is producing," which
Yeah.
is true,
I know
like,
what you're talking about. Yeah.
and that was coached. Somebody coached that kid to do that, whether it was his dad or whether it was his coach, right? Somebody told him this is what you do to draw the foul. The other kid didn't even touch him, which
Yeah.
is crazy. But I mean, it's a byproduct of the existing NBA climate. I tend to think, just as a fan here, not necessarily as a NFL tactician or anything like that, but
Or
And
I
NBA.
love watching
Yeah.
the physicality in the paint. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I love watching the strategy of the passing and the actual strategy of the plays that they draw up instead of just passing it to a guy that's open, from however many feet the 3-point line is and letting him shoot. That to me is not as entertaining, not even close, and when you add that on top of the flops and on top of, just the weird stuff that players do these days, it does take away from the awesomeness of the game.
Well, speaking of flopping, when they do flop, they stay on the ground for like 10, 30 seconds, and you're like, it's like they're like, are they looking?
like
Or-
there isn't 50 cameras on them, right?
Dude,
Did the ref see me, or should I get
there
up?
there is a fan video out there of LeBron doing that, bro. Have you seen that?
Yeah, he's like,
Oh,
oh,
Yeah,
so
he's like all
ridiculous.
and then he goes,
yeah, seen it.
yeah, dude. It's like so
That's
noticeable.
Joe's favorite player. I don't know why you're dissing him though.
LeBron,
What's that?
That was Joe's favorite player you're dissing over there.
dude, please. Please.
Joe's gonna get up and go to your house
Like,
right now.
in my opinion, draw a foul shouldn't even be a term. It should be I got fouled.
Yeah,
Draw a foul, and he draws the foul. It's like, no, you shot the ball and somebody fouled you. Like,
Right.
just shoot the ball. Like, I
yeah.
don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, the fact that there's a term for that is a problem, right?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
so now you can be skilled at drawing fouls.
Right.
Like, what is that?
Yeah, that's one thing that drives me nuts about Curry. He does that a lot.
Yep.
Gets that shoulder lead in there and then
Just shoot the ball.
shoots. Yeah,
Just
get so
freaking
much
shoot the
in there.
ball. Anyway,
Speaking of
I
fouls,
am losing
got fouled
appreciation.
on that
I'm
dunk.
losing appreciation for Harden though through this series with the Nuggets. He's becoming more and more of a weenie to me. Just the way he plays,
They
dude.
don't have an answer though, bro. They don't have an
no,
answer.
he just makes it. He just drops.
Someone tries to take him one-on-one on that high top of the key move, and then no one comes to help underneath because there's always a cutter or always someone in the back, dude. So they have to like take him one-on-one at the top of the key. Then he just blows past him and does that stupid little left-handed lob, bro. Every
Yeah.
time, there's no answer.
Dude, tell me AG wasn't going to drop him though. That was crazy, dude. If they wouldn't have stopped him, he totally would have dropped.
Yeah, he's a little thug.
Already, dude.
I
That
like.
was crazy.
Cool.
Game 5.
All right.
Tune in.
In 5
Like and subscribe. Kings of Monaco.
should be today because we'll release this on game day today.
Today, game day.
But you're probably listening to this the day after, or not at all.
Or not at all.
Probably
Thank
not.
you. Thank you to
right,
my
thanks.
mom, to my
Summers.
mom and Joe's sister, and Carlos's one client.
Hey, we said from the beginning we want to record our history, and that's what we're doing. So
That's exactly what we're doing.
yeah. All right, summer of 80s and 90s. Being
We're
an
gonna
80s
skip
and 90s
over the
Kansas
Av.
streamers. Dude, before we even talk about that, like think about how fast life goes. Like we're all on the verge. Well, you two are on the verge of 50. Carlos and I are already there. And when you really think about how short a summer is, right? And how many you actually get in middle school, you only get 3, depending on where you go, 4 at best. In high school, you only get 3 or 4, and it's
In
done.
LeBeau's case, he got like 6.
The super senior day, I had 5 summers.
Super senior.
That sounds like a country song. I got 5 summers.
LeBeau had a dream. There you go. Let me have another year. All right.
Let's roll this back. That's the original Walmart rollback, bro. Don't even trip.
Oh, roll back. All right. Anyway, sorry.
We're gonna skip over to Avs, I guess.
No, dude.
Oh,
you
yeah,
need
yeah,
to
yeah.
started Summers.
I forgot.
Yeah, let's
Finish your thing.
Nobody watches hockey in this. Or you
Bro.
guys.
We got a bunch of Latinos watching this, so no, just joking.
They're a hooky?
Do you know that Gabriel? See, so Joe didn't know how to say his name, so maybe you don't know the whole story, Joe.
All right, let's hear it. Let's transition back to the Avs.
So during the 22 season, or when did they? Yeah, it was 22 season when they won the Stanley Cup. Yeah. It's toward the end of the season, Gabriel Landeskog was jumping over the wall. You know, they're like kind of sit on the bench. They jump over the wall. He was jumping over the wall, and one of his players sliced his knee open as he was coming over the wall with his skate.
Dang, through the pads and everything?
Through the pads and everything at the top of your knee, basically, where your thigh meets your knee. He sliced his leg open, and he cut all the ligaments and tendons in his knee right there.
Dang.
And he played the last, he played to finish out the Stanley Cup. He was the captain and all that good stuff. But then after the season, he went and had surgery, and he's been rehabilitating and all that stuff. So for 3 years, so he just came back in the playoffs here, and 3 years later,
So
recuperated.
What's the standings right now of the series?
2-2. It's 2-2.
Okay.
So the first game
They
was
were down, which is monumental because they lost 2 in a row, dude.
yes, they did.
So that was 1 at home and then 1 in Dallas, right? They're playing Dallas.
Yep, Dallas.
They lost 2 on that's hard to come back from, like mentally, right? Like when you lose 2 in a row, that's crazy, man. Which is essentially, what ended up happening with the Nuggets as well. So when you think about just the mental fortitude that needs to happen in hockey, man, it just seems like it's so hard to score in hockey. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to be up, but I'm glad that it's a tie series now. What's your prediction? Are they going to pull it out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the first game was 5-1, dude. It was not a contest. They whooped all over the Stars. The second game, it was tight the whole way. They lost a heartbreaker in overtime, just kind of a fluky-ish shot in overtime. The third game, when Landeskog came back, bro, that emotion, like you're saying, trying to get that emotion in check, they just couldn't do it, dude. And they were like trying. It was like they were trying too hard to win, that they couldn't skate. They couldn't do things right because they were trying to force things to happen. So then, the game that they just won, it was the same thing. They just creamed all over the Dallas Stars, dude. So it should be fine. We should end up taking the next 2 and winning out the series.
Were they trying to get Landeskog the puck to score, or do you think that
it was that they had this like weird celebration of him like in the middle of the game, like it was just kind of weird, man. So all the emotions were high. As an athlete, you don't want to be out there all emotional. You want to be out there, tactical, skilled, and focused. And they were just on this like Landeskog high, and I think they were trying to force things to happen, and it just wasn't happening for them at all that game.
It is awesome, as a city to have 2 of your professional teams in the playoffs consistently, at the same time. Like that's dope. That's awesome.
All 3, dude. The Broncos were in the playoffs this year. The Broncos were in the playoffs. The Avs and the Nuggets.
And like that meme, I didn't do.
Which one?
I'm doing my part.
I did my part.
I did my part in the Rockies. I didn't do.
I didn't do.
I didn't do.
So bad.
Yeah. So
yeah, the Rockies, man. Man, somebody's
speaking of summer, right?
Speaking of boys of summer.
Yeah. I wish we could get back to them, me and the boys of summer, but
yeah,
man. Carlos is the one who brought this up. So what was it on your mind? You ready for summer?
Summer's coming up, right? So we all have families. What are we doing for the summertime? But it got me to thinking, summers as a kid, and I'm sure everybody was able to do awesome trips when they were kids. I don't ever remember taking a trip as a kid, like ever, right? At least not for vacation. If we had to go somewhere, somebody died or, something catastrophic happened in it. For us anyway, as a family, it's a regular occurrence, for us to pick up and go on vacation. Let's go somewhere for the summer, let's take a week, let's take 2 weeks or whatever, and let's go enjoy life. I don't ever remember doing that as a kid. Not that I feel like I missed out on anything. I mean, truth be told, I loved summertime as a kid, right? You felt like the days and the nights bled into each other. You never had to stop. You didn't have to go to bed at a certain time. You didn't have to worry about homework. You didn't have to worry about, anything other than riding your bike till you got tired and hanging out with the homies. And it seems like some of that has changed these days, just because of the existing social climate. Kids just don't do kid things as much as I think we used to when we were kids. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's what got me thinking about this topic. Just summer as a kid.
Did Aspen Pedal get a hairdo, Joe?
No, we're dog sitting Remy.
Okay, I was wondering.
And sister-in-law's dog.
I thought you guys dyed Aspen's hair. Is it the same breed of dog?
No, she's a Bernedoodle.
Oh, okay. Well, certainly it's close enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, that you must have dyed the whole dog.
That's why I said Aspen Pedal got a hairdo.
A little bigger than Aspen.
Yeah, she's heavy, bro. Anyway,
what about you guys? You guys got plans for the summer? You guys got vacations coming up, or what do you do? Kick back and
let's just. I want to elaborate on what Carlos.
Okay, yeah.
Because I mean, we didn't take a lot of trips either. We'd go to Mexico, I think, a couple of weeks out of the summer, and then come back. My dad was always not afraid, but always careful because of his status and everything. Of really traveling to too many places other than like mountains, going fishing, or Mexico. So we'd never, I didn't experience going to other states or doing things like, to your point, Carlos, until I grew up, till after, my 20s or in my 20s. But I agree that, I mean, I think we did a lot, growing up. We were always hanging out like 24/7. We were gaming. We were playing during the day. We were riding bikes. We were on the trampoline. We were playing basketball. We were dunking in Vince's backyard. We were playing street football.
Rec center, like constantly doing something. And it doesn't seem like that is the climate of today's generation. Like my son will go with his friends, but it's like maybe a couple times a month, go out and hang out, go to the movies, go to the rec center, kind of do similar stuff. They'll game, but it's all online. They're not in the same room together, Yeah,
it's just stinking up a room with all of our stinky soaks.
Yeah, I mean,
skating, skating, swimming. We did all that in the summer. Remember, we used to swim at the Adams City pool before the rec center. They had the Adams City pool that we used to swim at. Did you guys?
Dude, how about the simple things like drinking out of the hose? You talk about somebody drinking out of a hose now. It's like you stop them like they're drinking poison.
Dude, did we ever do this? I feel like we did this before when we used to play football at Monaco Elementary and we'd get really thirsty. Did we used to pop the sprinklers up? We
Yeah,
did, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Drink out of
Yeah.
we wouldn't even we would
Totally.
get on the ground and suck the water out of the sprinkler.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, what were we thinking?
Yeah, dude. It's just times have changed. I feel like, and it's I guess it's the evolution of the world as it is. Right, we're in the age of technology, and so technology, of course, is going to play a much bigger role in life today because it didn't exist back then. At least, certainly not to the degree that it does today. Um, and it just got me to thinking of how different summers today look than they did, in the late 80s, early 90s when we were kids. And, I guess kids will get a different type of fulfillment from their summers, still, being able to stay home from school. But just the nostalgia of being able to go hang out, to the wee hours of the night with your homies and not have to worry about school, but you're actually socializing face to face was something that we did on a regular basis. I wonder how many. I know vacationing is huge around, spring break and around the summertime, but I wonder how many other parents out there would say, "Yeah, I can actually relate to what you're saying. When I was a kid, we didn't really travel that much, but now as a family, we travel a lot." Right. So I wonder what those statistics are like from, from that era, from the late 80s, early 90s to today. Have those travel numbers gone up? I don't know if one of you guys can look on Chat GPT and find out, but certainly the economy plays a role in that, right? And how well off people are according to
People
how
don't
much
hang
money
out.
people are earning.
People
You know
don't
what's
hang out, dude. I was watching. Did you guys watch 60 Minutes last night?
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
there was a story on 60 Minutes last night that in China, or not, sorry, I'm sorry, not China, Tokyo, Japan, they have like the fifth lowest pregnancy rate, and all that stuff, and it's because they have the highest rate of artificial relationships. So in Japan, dude, they're literally dating like robots. They're dating like mannequins, and they're like having relationships and stuff. Dude, I'm serious.
In
They have, like,
Tokyo,
yes, in Tokyo, bro. They're having like issues
like
with
they're going out to date with a robot girlfriend to
yes,
like
bro.
in a
Yes.
public place.
Yes, they have the largest population of artificial relationships in Tokyo.
Dude, that's not
People are dating their
crazy.
mannequin or dating their Naruto character and all that stuff in
They're
Tokyo.
all, "Hi, Kirby.
Dude, literally.
You're looking at the yesterday."
Yeah,
That's just gonna get worse, in my opinion, or grow. Not
Yeah.
the lower
coming.
economic area, they have like sock puppets. They're like, "How are you doing there?"
Well, think about it. Like, we live in a society where everybody's disconnected. If you're disconnected when you get together in real life, you don't know how to connect. You don't know how to problem solve. You don't know how to converse, right? So then it doesn't work out. But then you find a robot that tells you everything you ever wanted to hear. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. I mean, it's weird, but
Well, yeah, I mean, it's it is weird because it's like it's not a person. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, how
I
would
know, but
you connect with this thing? It's like you
Well,
trying to connect with literally
But-
an inanimate
I mean,
But
if
object.
that
we want to go there,
generation,
bro, they're connecting. That's the
yeah,
thing. And
yeah,
it's
because emotions are
better and
emotions. Maybe
better.
not on the digital side of it, but the person is feeling it. Like,
you gotta.
there was a study that recently, and I think my wife was telling me that they've spent millions and millions of dollars on AI. So, for example, ChatGPT, how you can open up the app and then just ask it and converse with it. When you used to talk to ChatGPT, and used to, I mean, time goes by so fast. I'm talking like 3 months ago.
Yeah, like
You
4
would
months
say,
ago.
"Hey, help me rewrite this email." Okay, blah 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 blah. You're welcome, and then it would be done. Now it's like, oh, that's, if you say, "Oh, thank you," it's say, "You're welcome. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you have good luck with that email. Let me know if you need any response." And it wants to try to keep
Is there some additional stuff that you'd like me to look up? Okay,
Right.
these are your statistics. Do you now want me to find out what region it is in?
Right.
Like
It's
those
trying to continue the
learning, dude.
conversation
It's
with you.
learning.
You got those people over in Tokyo. They're the ones who are making the chat GPT. They're like, hey, ask him for a social, see if he'll give you and chat GPT is like, hey, do you need me to store your social security number in your notes? Perfect. Go ahead and spew it out.
We
And
can encrypt it.
What's
the
weird
guy
though
over
is,
there with the sock puppet's like, hey, he's giving us our social security number.
what's weird is LeBeau's chat GPT has the British male's voice. I don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah. So who knows?
How does that sound, Joe?
I don't know. It's
Come on. Now you got to give us the sound.
I don't know. But it's your guy.
Dude, the guys in Tokyo were like, Chat GPT, I dropped my pen on the floor. Did you pick it up for me?
Well, and here's the thing. Elon Musk has one called Grok. Have you guys heard of Grok?
Grok?
Yeah, Grok. So Grok can sense your emotions in your voice. That's what differentiates it from ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, I could say, hey, ChatGPT, I need help with an email, and ChatGPT, okay, what can I help you with? Grok might say, wow, sounds like a tough one. I could hear by the tone in your voice, like it'll actually hear your tone and decide if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're emotional, and use that as an extra resource.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need a stiff drink.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
And no, and you could, and I'm not kidding. There's an episode of Joe Rogan. Okay, when Elon Musk is on Joe Rogan, this was maybe a month ago, maybe a little bit longer. They're conversing with Grok, and they put it in the, I forget what mode it is, but it talks crap to you.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, so if you could say, hey,
mode or something.
what do you know? And it'll say, F you, what do you know? Like, I know way more. It'll like really like start talking crap back and forth.
Unfiltered mode?
What's that?
Like the unfiltered mode?
Yeah,
man, like it's they programmed Jerome from 5 Points in there.
You
Like,
better call.
what you want there, mother effer?
That was racist, dude.
I know, right?
That's messed up. What the heck?
Well, that's what Joe said.
Rock. Dude, nobody said Jerome, dude. That was your own racist brain.
Oh, you
You
said
said Jerome and 5 Points, bro.
Dude, there are Jeromes in every race. What
No
are you
one
guys
listens
talking
here
about?
anyways, dude.
my buddy Justin's name is Jerome. He's not
Your buddy
black.
Justin's name is Jerome?
No, my buddy Justin's brother's name is Jerome.
Oh my god.
My
Like,
friend
wait a
Joe's
minute, dude.
name is Nancy.
I got 4 black friends. Come on.
Did you guys know that Elon doesn't use AI?
Yeah, he was against it, and his
He like
kid-
doesn't use it, dude.
Yeah,
Most
'cause
of
he's
these
all-
most of these tech moguls, they don't use the technology they develop, and
What do
that's
you mean?
for a
We were just
reason.
talking
Dude,
about
AI's
him
taking
using.
us down. Look, AI's taking us down. Joe just froze up, dude. ChatGPT's sensing something. Look at Joe.
Not first.
Oh,
I
it's
know.
actually it's Joe Bot over there.
Joe Biden.
Do you want to
AI
go on
bot
a date?
Michael.
Do you want to go on a date today with me? I'll make this face all night long.
Don't listen to
Oh
your
my
wife.
goodness.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
No, I was on we were out to dinner with some friends and who will remain nameless. Not because of who they were, but just because of the nature of the conversation. And he was saying that he had a friend who she almost feels like she's cheating on her husband because of the amount of conversation she has with ChatGPT on a daily basis. Like just
crazy.
Well, what kind
conversing
of
all the time.
conversations is she having?
Well, no, I don't know if it's like
Just
that kind of, but it's just
conversation.
talking to, if there's no communication in the marriage and
It's like
you're-
her work husband or what?
Algo así, yo creo. I don't know. Something
Well,
like
you know that joke.
You spoke Spanish. Do you need to take a trip to Mexico? I can book 7 hotels in Mexico City right now.
Yeah.
Get us
You
to
know
your
that joke, like
Español en
with people
español?
who work in corporate offices, they call some people because they spend so much time together. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's my work wife. Oh yeah, that's my work husband," or whatever. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
Now Carlos
Yeah,
is
no,
in
it's
trouble.
a thing.
No,
I don't have a work spouse.
it's a meme.
I work from home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we could tell by your posts. You work from home. All right. Live from California. I'll be
I got to go to Chicago next week. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
Chicago's dope. Wish I could
Yeah.
go with you.
Yeah.
Tell Kanye we said what's up. Or yay, sorry.
Is that where he's at in Chicago?
Dude, have you guys heard his new song about him and his cousin?
No.
his song about him.
Well,
and his-
wasn't his daughter in the song or something?
No, not in this song.
Which song is the one that one of the kids is in the song, and like what's her name was trying to block the song from coming out, right?
No, not this one, dude. Well, I don't think it's this one because he's talking about how he and his cousin, when they were kids, were looking at porn, and then they started to do what was in the porn that they were looking at. His male cousin,
To each other?
What?
Kanye, to his male cousin, yeah, and he's like
That's
rapping
right.
about it, singing about it.
I mean,
And-
yeah, it's all good, whatever you want to do, but he put that on the album.
He put it on a song, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
Maybe they're
apparently,
trying to come out.
apparently it was like a big conversation for his team because he's like, at first I didn't know whether to do it or not, but he's like, I feel like I needed to. So we called my cousin and we sat down. Should we do it? Should we not? And he was like, I just feel like it was freeing for me to finally, say it because it happened.
Yeah,
But
good for
you think about the complexities that make up his life, and I'm certain that that's just one layer, right? That contributes to his personalities and the way that he views life, because that obviously is not healthy, to have those types of relationships with your family member
Yeah, probably
at,
not
at a
healthy.
young age.
At some point, it's got to be, like you say, freeing. I mean, you're talking about music, you're talking about the art of expression, you're talking about being open. Who are we to judge? Like, I get it, I get all of that. So, I mean, yeah,
Well, look,
I guess.
look, I would say if it wasn't two kids and if it wasn't
They're not kids though, bro. They're not kids anymore though.
but they
I
were
know, but
kids when
they
this
were
happened.
kids. So
No,
he's
they were
talking
kids when it
about-
happened, but they were both kids when it happened. Like, that's the thing. Like, they're not.
Yeah,
kids
but
anymore.
it's still not okay. I mean, you're never going to consent to two children having these types of relationships regardless. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
get
Like you're never going to say that that's okay. Plus layer on top of that the fact that they're family members. It's just another like
another
damn,
layer.
like where were your parents, dude? Like where
that was his
were you like unsupervised? Now, granted, kids, will do stupid things, but that to me like blew my mind. Number one, that it happened, and number two, that he was like,
Made an album about it.
"We
or
got to
something.
write a song about
I
this."
mean, I don't
Yeah,
think
but-
anybody's surprised because of all of his complexities that he, shows in his personality and everything. So I mean, it's sad. And I mean, like LeBeau was saying, sometimes people have different ways of expressing. It's just what is the format, right?
and his cousin was a boy, by the way.
Yeah,
I
I
know,
you were saying.
yeah.
Oh, you've heard it? Oh, okay.
No,
you
well,
told
you
us
just said it.
You just
Oh.
told us
10-second Tom.
I did say that.
Yes. Dang, bro, that's racist. Why you gotta call him Tom, bro?
Dude, haven't you seen 50
Yeah,
First
dude,
Dates?
you're coming today, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, it was wild, dude. It was crazy. I don't know if he did it for clicks or if he did it for therapeutic reasons. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to say. Either way, I mean, I guess applaud him for being like indifferent to public opinion about it because he felt he needed to put it out there. And it sounded like his cousin was, on board with it and they were okay with it. But having the, the guts to actually put it out there is like,
Is that confidence again? Are we back to the Shiloh thing? Is it a confidence thing? Like, do we applaud the confidence or do we?
well, Kanye is like, he's definitely confident, but he's way like past the line, dude.
Yeah,
I think that he's into that space where he's unhealthily, he's delusional, really.
Yeah,
what I'm
his
saying? It's not
mental
even
health
confidence anymore.
but he's like, well, nobody could tell me what to do. I have the money to do whatever I want to do, so I don't care what you have to say. So,
And it's hard to say, right? Like you never know the nuances and the details that you're missing because all you see is what's out in the public, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was
could
just-
all be a charade at the end of the day. Who knows? I mean, maybe one day when he passes away, his family is going to be like, he got you. It was all, it was all
kidding.
an act.
I was just listening to Ben Affleck on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and he was talking about how everybody thinks he's just some bitter, angry, like miserable guy.
I saw that. Yeah.
And he's like, the times you're like poking at me, you have cameras in my face. Of course I'm irritated. That's the only time you film me. You don't film me when I get into the restaurant with my family and I'm having like a wonderful time with my family because you're not allowed in there. So you're seeing me when I'm irritated with you people. And it's like, man, it's just like you said, we don't know what we see behind.
I'm gonna watch The Accountant too. That's gonna be bomb, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
does look
first
like a
one
good
was
movie.
awesome.
The hard thing about
It was good.
on that interview, V, with him and Theo Vaughn, he sounded don't you think he sounds exactly, or his personality and his tone of voice is like Mark Cuban? Like they're like the same person.
Kind of. Yeah, I know what you're
Like,
saying.
And I'm not like Mark Cuban, like I don't know, like anyway.
Yeah, it just kind
you
of
guys
like,
need to see it. You need to see the Theo Vaughn interview with
Theo Vaughn he's hilarious, dude. That
he's so
guy,
funny.
like,
I love that podcast.
he's inappropriate at times, but he's hilarious. The guy is really
Yeah.
witty. He's really, he's just funny, dude.
It's some of the things are. If you ever get a chance to watch the one with him and he had a lunch lady, did you see the one with the lunch lady on? Dude, every once in a while he has like just average people, and he brought in some lady. She's a lunch lady, but dude, it was like, it's one of my favorite because she stole the show. Her laugh was hilarious. But just his expression while he's watching her, he's like, all right.
Dude, the things that he just says are just like,
Yeah.
like who thinks of these things, man? That's why he is where he is. But yeah, it's good. Good combo, guys. Are we rocking with some bonus here? Are we
doing bonus or what are we doing here?
We can knock it out real quick.
all right? We're gonna
Bonus with boner, and that reference is, if anybody doesn't know, that was one of LeBeau's many nicknames as a child. So
Not as
don't
a
get mad at us.
child, as a young person.
A young man, whatever.
Middle school.
Like in his early teens.
Middle
Yeah.
school.
yeah.
So the bonus
So-
is Carlos, do you have any invention ideas that you would like to share, willingly knowing that's a possibility that someone would take your idea, run with it, and make millions of dollars?
My mom, Joe's sister, and your one client. You think any of them will take it?
Yeah, possibly. I mean,
well, hurry. If you're gonna say it, possibly.
I don't have an invention idea. This was
Oh,
Okay, all
I
right.
have 1 minute. Give me
He
your
barely remembered his name tonight. So
I know, dude. Are we? So we have to come up with an invention idea. You know, it would be
No,
really
You don't have
cool.
any invention ideas?
No, if you
Like,
have
never
one,
thought
share
of
it.
one,
If you
like,
don't,
hey,
we
this
don't
is
care.
great.
What would be, and I understood everything each of you said, which was awesome. 'Cause we were talking at the same time.
If you have an invention idea and you
Share
just
it.
want to throw it out there, share it.
1 minute. Go.
Today, Junior.
What I would love to someone to invent is a transportation. Is that right? Where you teleportation is
A
what
car?
I mean. Teleportation.
Oh, well, that's too
Well,
hard.
It's the transportation.
Teleportation's too hard.
Joe's like, or Carlos is like, I watched Back to the Future last night, and wouldn't that be cool?
The Fly.
No, dude, teleportation. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like seriously, if somebody got it right.
bro.
Yeah.
We're thinking of like reality, bro.
reality inventions, bro.
Well, that you said an invention, dude. You didn't put any like definition to
You
it.
never thought of an invention like, oh, I think I can invent this. This would
All right,
be
LeBron,
weird.
go. It would be, but that's not for real. All right.
I thought of one the other night. Okay. And this is so simple. All you need is 4 Rokus. I want to invent a device, one single device that has 4 tuners inside. So that way you can simultaneously run all your stupid streaming apps at the same time. Hit a button, it goes into a 4-point screen, just like our screen here on the show. And then you can go back and forth between apps, and you don't have to stop stupid Netflix to go over to DirecTV stream, stop stupid DirecTV stream to go over to freaking whatever else it may be that you're trying to watch, Amazon Prime or whatever else. Just be able to switch between apps without having to stop and the whole
Kinda like-
damn app.
Kind of like when you're listening to a podcast, but you're
Yes.
scrolling on Facebook.
Yeah,
You should have kept that
exactly.
quiet. That's
Exactly.
actually
Dude, I was
good.
gonna
That's
say,
actually a good
you
idea.
just made somebody a billionaire, dude.
Yeah. Like
And it's not
I
you.
could envision like the screen moving over to the side, kind of
Yes.
like we show a clip
Yes.
on our podcast, and then you
Yeah,
can, like,
and then you have all the
scroll
other ones
through
lined
other
up on the
apps.
side.
do it.
Dude, that's a great
That's not-
idea.
that's a great
He
idea.
needs like $10
I just
million
need tape. All I need to do is
R&D,
tape
dude.
It's
together.
just software.
Tape.
Oh, hardware, Joe. It's
Well,
hardware.
like all I need is duct tape and
Look.
4 Rokus.
It's hardware because there's going to have to be compression involved, and you're going to have to get it all to one HDMI and to one Ethernet coming in.
Basically, it's a TV with more capability.
It's what
Streaming
cable
TV.
channels used to do with the channels.
Yeah.
So that technology already exists. They already have compressors that used to
I mean,
compress all the
It's
different
like
channels.
PIP, picture in picture.
Yeah,
It's what YouTube TV does when you stream like 4 different football
Yeah,
games.
but
you have,
you want. But that's the thing. You want
But
to
you
watch
wanna be able-
YouTube TV, and you want to watch Netflix,
I-
and you
I
want to
know.
watch Amazon
Yeah.
I know
Prime.
what you're saying.
and kind of do what we're doing here, right?
I think it's a great idea.
In a square.
Joe, let's get this
Kudos.
going, dude.
No, that's a great idea. It's just
Good
software.
idea.
I mean, it's software with a little bit more hardware involved in a TV, so it would raise the price of the TV a little bit because there'd
Or
be
a
some
device.
more RAM. It would have to be,
Yeah.
or
Bro,
a
I-
device. You're
I
right.
have-
The device would be easier.
The
Yeah.
The
device.
device would be
Like
easier.
an
You don't need it in the
Apple TV or Roku or something.
Yeah, the
I
device.
already have the name for the device, bro.
What is it?
PIP Plus, Picture in Picture Plus.
We'll work on the name.
Wah,
PIP
wah,
Plus
wah.
device.
Yeah. The name sucks, but the idea is great.
All right, cool.
Okay, my
Okay.
idea is that Vince.
like-
do you have an idea?
I do.
Okay,
ahead.
Let me share. Okay, this is actually my son's idea. Really simple. Think about Top Golf, right? But think about an indoor place that has nothing but golf simulators with a putt in the middle. You know, where you could just play the short game,
Oh,
like
yeah, you
a
can
real
go to the
putt in
game.
the middle. But then you play like golf simulators and you order food.
Oh,
and you
that's
hang
dope.
out. So it's more like Top Golf meets indoor simulation golf.
Kind of
with,
like what they're doing on TV now. Because
Yeah,
they're
that national
Kind of, yeah.
golf
But
league
no,
or
but
whatever.
never,
Oh, in
you don't
real
have an
life, you're
audience
competing.
around you, right? But you have, you know, it's a place where your wife and the ladies would actually go and try
social
it.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
social
Oh, that's a
place,
great
but-
idea.
yeah, that'd be
but-
cool. That'd be a cool
you know,
bar.
simulation. And then
Mhm.
maybe instead of like like a putt, I mean putt in the middle. That's what I meant to say. Not
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you.
yeah, putt in the middle. So you can do both. And it's kind of like putt's in the middle of this huge, you know, all the way around. There's golf simulators like that.
Yeah.
Putt's in the middle. And then you have a circle around it where the waiters just go around and serve food.
That's
like
a great idea, bro. That's a freaking amazing. So like basically when you go from each putt hole, from one putt hole to the next, at the start of each putt hole, there's the simulator part where you're doing the long drive, and then you get to where you're gonna get, and then the simulator screen puts you at the putt hole, and then you play the putt hole, play that out, right?
No, I was just thinking like you could play putt, or you could be on the outside playing a full simulation.
Okay.
But that's an idea too. That's a little more involved. But
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, just like a circle, right? With all the simulators,
on the outside,
and then something fun in the middle, or just like a bar in the middle with TVs. You could sit, have drinks,
You just need 18 simulators though, bro. You're at 18 spots, 18 starting spots. There's your drive to that putt hole. Picture your putt holes in the very far end of your simulator. Boom, you land, either get on the putt course, you land there, and then you
putt. Yeah, but then it's like it's constant moving. Like you want to camp there. You want to camp there with your family.
Oh, I see what
you want to be
like a Top Golf, like you're set at a simulator or whatever.
And if you don't have a putt in the middle, maybe you have a round bar, right?
Yeah.
A bar that's round, so the ladies can go gossip right behind you at the bar watching some TV.
Dude, talking about generalizing.
Jeez, Mosas.
My bad.
Hey, bro. We go from racist to what is it called?
Generalizing feminism.
No, he's a male chauvinist.
Chauvinism. Thanks. You come on this show, you get it all.
What's the opposite of feminist?
Anti-feminist.
I know. He's a maleist.
Maleist. Okay, Vince, what's your idea, dude?
All right. So and this might already be out, but I think it would be cool to have a pair of glasses that would actually be able to focus like a camera. Like I want my 20/20 vision, but I also want, like Carlos was using his readers, if you need something like a pair of glasses to like really focus in small lettering, or you want to go,
aren't those like bifocals?
No, but this wouldn't be
like digital.
Version.
But with those bifocals and stuff, there's like a line that you have to look.
No, dude, you get transition lenses.
You should have seen your eyes when you did that.
Dude, I almost got in an accident with the transition lens.
That's what I'm saying.
The transition lens, even though they have like that little slow,
yeah.
It's still like I was like, what the heck? Like how close is that car? That car's on me. It's like a mile away. It was bad, dude. I seriously almost got in an accident the first time.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like they should have like objects are closer than what they seem on your glasses.
Yeah. You're killing me, dude. I almost got in an accident.
I did. I thought the car was like right next to me, and it was like the whole family is like, it's like 5 cars back. I'm like, damn, I can't. And then I was just like trying to figure out how to look in the rearview mirror. Like,
dude, that's what I'm talking about. It would be nice.
Dude, where did you get your transition glasses, bro?
My glasses
DollarTreeEyes.com.
Dude, you need something other than transition lenses if that's how your sight looks, dude. You're like a freaking chameleon, dude, if that's how your sight looks. Your eyes are all
his eyes looking that way.
Your eyes suck.
Joe has a patch for glasses.
I have glasses that look like this the whole time.
Joe's like, bro, I could see behind me with my transition glasses.
Have you seen that AI that keeps your eyes looking forward even if you close them? So it looks like this.
So basically,
like I'm basically asleep and it's like this. There is AI like that. So you're like looking to the side.
Dude. I have seen those filters on TikTok, dude. Those are hilarious.
So basically, Joe needs Vince's invention. That's your first customer, bro. Not only am I a customer, not only am I a client.
Dude.
Oh
I
my
think that would be
goodness.
weird though with the lens being digital. Because have you guys ever driven a car that has a camera for a rear view mirror?
Yeah.
That seems weird to me, but it doesn't seem weird to me when I look at the camera, like when I'm driving backwards on my little display. But my brain doesn't process it when it's like up top. of the
Carlos sees
rearview
that and
mirror.
he's like, he's like, oh,
I mean, it would have to be really sophisticated because it would have to almost be a neurological connection to know like what you actually wanted to be looking at.
well,
I know it's all
Yeah,
so
like,
you would have like an adjustment, like, and then once it's
oh,
at
okay, so
that,
you're driving and you go,
no, no, you would have an adjustment to say, okay, that when you like adjust your
Zoom in,
lens,
stupid.
He's
Zoom
like,
in,
Rebecca, close. Rebecca, far.
Rebecca,
Rebecca.
Like Siri.
cinnamon, cinnamon.
Cinnamon, closer. Cinnamon, closer. Cinnamon, closer. Cinnamon, closer.
All right. Well, those are good ideas.
You'll be sleeping with your glasses, dude. That'd be Thank you for letting me see so much. I can't do this without you.
yeah.
These dogs are
Hey,
gonna
drop
be-
my pen on the floor. Cinnamon.
Are we gonna keep going or because these dogs have to?
No, we're good, dude.
All right.
The
Sorry to
dog's
cut it
gonna
off.
be pooping in the background.
The dogs all.
He's gonna be dropping loads in the background.
That'd be a great invention right there.
The load dropper. All right, Remy, we're gonna
Oh,
go.
dude,
pet it.
all right.
Just like looking at me like, see her?
He's like, I gotta go poop.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's been a big conversation.
Oh man. All
We'll
right.
see you. Everybody, thank you for listening.
Like, share, subscribe.
All three people.
Monaco.
Peace.
Peace out.
Oh my God.